It's usually a learning experience when Sergio Alvarado takes his children to the turtle ponds. The family belongs to the Quechua people who have lived in the Yasuni National Park for generations. The park is also home to the hungry river turtles, but it'll be getting crowded for humans and animals alike. Ecuador's government plans to drill for oil here.
In the philosophy of the Quichuas, progress means having a good life. We should maintain the resources at our disposal and protect nature over the long term, so that our community will also have a good life in the future.
But the good life of the Quichuas is under threat. At the same time, every day, in the afternoon when it's hottest, the whole family takes a break in the shade of the house. Then everyone gets chicha. It's a beverage made from the fruits or roots of various indigenous plants like yucca. Sergio's wife, Judith, prepares the traditional drink over an open fire. But lately, she doesn't know where to get good quality yucca from.
A lot of yucca and banana plants are dying off. I planted new ones, but they died too. So I got fruit from the village market, and it made the children sick. I think everything's been contaminated here.
We ask Sergio to show us the source of the contamination. We only have to travel a short distance on the Rio Napo, the biggest river in Yasuni National Park. And so that the children learn something, they all come along too. We soon arrive at the first gas flare, one of the many in the area that are always burning. Less than a kilometre away, we meet a group of workers who are using barriers and hoses to clean the banks of leaked oil. The Yasuni Rainforest is one of the world's most important bastions in the fight against climate change. Nowhere is there a greater variety of flora and fauna species. But the wealth in the region that interests Ecuador's government is in crude form underground. Or was, at least, until 45 years ago, when the state started extracting the oil. Since then, much of the nature preserve has changed. Only a few areas remain untouched. So, in 2007, Ecuador's president proposed not drilling in the area if the international community paid him half the value of the oil that would have been extracted. The area is known as the ITT block that the president wanted to protect in exchange for hard cash. It contains 20% of Ecuador's oil reserves, but it only accounts for a small area in the eastern part of the biosphere reserve. Despite international support, the initiative generated just a small fraction of the expected funds, so the president reversed his plan and gave the go-ahead to start drilling in the park's ITT block.
Unfortunately, we have to say that the world has failed us.
The world isn't willing to help save one of the planet's last green lungs, and the president needs money to pay off state debt. Now, environmental activists take to the streets to demand nature preservation.
Our country needs development and growth, and we have to use our resources. But these resources shouldn't come from exploiting and destroying one of the Earth's most valuable green lungs.
The oil in question would earn Ecuador profits of around 7 billion euros. Burning it would produce some 400 million tons of CO2. And the world would need just 9 days to consume the oil.
This doesn't just affect the people living in the region, but the people of the whole world. That's why we turn to the rich countries, that bear the biggest responsibility for climate change. The oil production will cause many problems, like deforestation of the Amazon region or the contamination of the water under the entire park.
We travel deep into the Yasuni Rainforest to meet the people who'd be most affected by the drilling, the Waorani indigenous group. Were it up to the president, we couldn't have gone there. He doesn't want to see journalists in Yasuni, especially now. We were forced to smuggle our camera equipment past military checkpoints in order to see for ourselves where the Waorani live. Some have never had contact with civilization. They live a 2-hour drive and an additional 3 to 4 hour boat ride from the nearest city. On one of their rare journeys away from home, Martin and Gaba Baihua, who was the village elder, heard about plans that would bring pipelines and drilling rigs deeper into the forest.
I don't want these people to come here. They'll change our lives. We live here our way, and everything we have comes from nature. It's a very healthy life.
The Waorani welcome the usual afternoon rain shower at this time of year. It's a relief from the heat. After it rains, the people get back to work. Gaba and Martin are preparing curare arrows for hunting. Curare is a plant-based poison that paralyzes the respiratory systems of monkeys and parrots.
This land belongs to everyone, but we need it to live. We don't want them to drill oil here. Why should we change our lives or language for them? We just want to continue living here.
While 2 Waorani head out to hunt for monkeys and parrots, the state-run oil company, PetroAmazonas, prepares to conquer this unique forest. 3 other indigenous peoples have already fled the oil rigs. Gaba and his family could be the next in search of new hunting grounds.